Hey, welcome back everyone. I'm Joe, and this week we're going to be doing one of our coolest projects yet. We're going to be making an outdoor table with built-in coolers for beer, wine, or whatever drinks you might like. Now, this project's going to take a little bit longer than most of the projects we do, but it's going to be well worth it in the end because it turns out amazing. It's going to be a real conversation starter, and anyone who sees it is going to love it. So let's get started. So here's your wood list. You probably want to go ahead and print this off so you can check it out. Here's your cut list. Again, print this off so you can reference it. Here's what your wood looks like after it's all cut up. The first thing you're going to do is take those 2x4 pieces that are 23 3/4 inches long. You're going to take your Kreg jig and put pocket holes into these so you can screw these two 2x4 pieces together. You can see that's a Kreg jig as well as a separate bit that it comes with specifically for the Kreg jig. So you're going to put pocket holes in towards the ends of each one. And then in each end, you're going to drill 2 pocket holes as well. Then you're going to take these two 2x4s and screw them together. You can see 2 screws in one side and then 1 in the other. Then you're going to lay it on the floor with your planter box that you can get at Lowe's or Home Depot. They're different sizes, so lay it on the floor like this and make sure you measure to determine exactly how wide this board needs to be that you're screwing it into now. For me, it came out to 21 3/4 inches. You're going to put all 8 of those screws into it. Again, it's a good idea to put that planer box in there just to make sure the spacing is proper, then it'll go in and out easily. They're going to do the same thing on the other side with that other 21 3/4 inch piece. They're going to do the same thing with those remaining 8 2x4s that are screwed together. They're going to take that long side piece that's 5 feet 9 1/4 inches. You can see I'm marking with a pencil where I want those Kreg jig pocket holes to be. Drill those Kreg jig holes out. I clamped it here, as you can see, to help hold it together, and then screwed all that together. At this point, it's a good idea to sand it down a little bit, make sure there aren't going to be any splinters underneath, so no one will catch your finger. Then you're going to screw together your bottom boxes. It's a good idea to use a square here. You can pre-drill these holes as well. It's a good idea because sometimes they'll crack. A couple of mine actually cracked. You can see the planter box fits right in there. You're going to measure out 5 spots to drill these support pieces in. So you're going to screw those all together. Again, you might want to drill those out, pre-drill them in order to fill them in because they will be visible underneath the table. And these are the box supports that are 25 1/4 inches long. You're going to put those on the side after you turn it upside down with the planer box in it, which is going to make it sit flush with the top of the table, which is why you're doing it this specific way. Now after this, you're going to be ready to put on the cross beams. Make sure they are centered on that box. These are 27 1/2 inches. I put, I think, 4 screws in each one just to make sure they hold tight. And you can see I put pocket holes in the ends of these as well after you set them on the table, lined up perfectly. Screw those in. And this is the inner long skirt. You can see I'm marking it so I know where to drill the pocket holes. This is the side skirt. Again, mark it so you know where to drill your pocket holes. And then you can also screw it into the other pieces as well. This is your long outer skirt. You set it on the table with your 2x4 legs there so you can determine the proper positioning. Once you determine that positioning, you are ready to go ahead and screw that together. You can see here I drilled these out with a countersink and filled them with wood putty because they will be visible. You can see there I clamped the legs and then put 4 screws, 1 1/4 inch wood screws from the interiors that won't be visible into each leg. You can see the planer boxes fit down in there perfectly. Then you're going to need to rip these pieces to cover the coolers to fit the exact size that you determine. You'll take your paddle blade and drill a hole out. And you're doing this so that you can stick your finger in there and lift that out when you want to put ice in there. Now I just used a Minwax wood finish. You're going to use a rag for this. Always wear rubber gloves. It's also a good idea to put a large fan in your garage wherever you're doing this to blow those fumes out. It's also a really good idea to wear a nice respirator. You don't want to breathe that stuff, and wear your safety glasses. And then you're going to need a good polyurethane or exterior type of wood protectant built for outside. You can see here, this is what the table looks like after it's all stained, and then there it is with the polyurethane on it. Nice and shiny, and ready to take that extreme weather outside. You can see here the planer boxes are recessed a little bit, so I took a 2x4. You can set that down in there. And then set your planer boxes in there, and then they sit flush with the table surface. Up the cooler covers in, and then here is a shot of the table with your ice, your beer, and your wine in there with one of the cooler covers in. And here's a shot of the final product. I think you'll really like the way this table turns out, as will anyone else who sees it. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up so other people can check it out. You can always click the subscribe button if you want to see more videos moving forward. So until next time, thanks, take care.